Hello and welcome back to TJ Studios. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about bass hooks, specifically the offset hook. So the offset hooks, they range from mainly 1/0 to 5/0. They might go a little higher than that. I don't know. I don't really use anything above a 5 if I really ever use a 5. So a lot of people wonder, what kind of hooks are you using for certain types of fishing? It depends on the fish. Of course, that's the number one thing. Make sure you're buying the hook for the fish that, whatever you're fishing, make sure you're buying the right hooks. It's going to help a lot with your hook sets. So for the offset, they are used for mainly two different things: worms and creature baits. And the reason that is because of their size and their shape. It helps when you are rigging up your soft plastic, your worm or your creature bait, and how it looks, how it swims, how it performs, and how it appeals to the bass. So first we have the 1/0, which is a small, simple hook. I don't tend to use this small of a hook, not even for the worm, which this is recommended for. And if you buy these nice Berkley Fusion sets, which I just went out and picked up, don't even know if I've ever used Berkley hooks before, but for the purpose of this video, I got them nice and organized for you guys. So it says this is for a worm because it is smaller. Usually, like me, I'm going to wacky rig this, put it in the middle, and just let it drop and do its thing. And you don't need that big of a hook for that. The 1/0, we have this rigged up with a Senko wacky rig style. And as you can see, the proportion, the hook is pretty small compared to the bait. And you don't have to follow what this package says exactly. Like, I might bump this up to a 2 or even a 3 if I feel more comfortable with that. Because, I mean, even that hook is still pretty small compared to that bait. But you know, it's not moving around a lot. It's staying in place. As compared to if it's on a 5/0. As you can see, that's way out of proportion. That's way too big. There's way too much hook exposure compared to the bait. And there's just so much room for that to move around. Unlike the 1/0, where it's not going to move as much. And this is too much. If you're doing this, stop. Lower your hook size for your Senkos. You're missing out on catches because the fish, they see this and they're smarter than what you think. They see this and they're gonna laugh at you. Then you have your 2/0, which is recommended for a creature. Now the size can vary depending on what kind of hook it is, but for what it is, but for this purpose, you'll see, and I'll tell you what they have these listed as. So this says a creature bait, which if you look at the hook and you're rigging it, you want to think of it kind of sideways, and because your bait is going to kind of run at kind of like an angle or across, and that is to give it that mobility and that lifelike look when it's swimming in the water, and it's more compact. So you would want to use maybe a smaller creature bait with this. As to when you go up to the 5/0. You could probably use a bigger creature bait with this because you have a bigger hook. And yes, your hook size matters with the size of fish you're catching, but at the same time it doesn't, because I mean, you could catch a 6-pound bass on this little hook if it wants your bait. It's all about, you know, appealing that bait to the fish and hiding your hook pretty well. That's why they do come in different sizes. If you're gonna have a little tiny creature bait, like a little tiny crawl, you don't want to put it on the big 5/0 hook. You're going to show off too much of the hook, and the bass, they can see that, especially from the reflection and whatnot, and they're not going to want to take it. So that's why size is a big deal when it comes to bass fishing, is to match that size with the correct proportion of your bait. So we have the 5/0 on a Strike King Rodent creature bait, and this is a big creature bait, and it fits the size of the hook. The 5/0 hook with this creature bait, and this hook is almost a little too big, but I think it fits it pretty well. As you can see, it leaves the loop here. It hides the hook well. The presentation is focused on the bait, not the hook. You want your bait to show more than your hook. Remember that. And then we have the 4/0 with the Green Bait Trench Hog. And that, as you can see, that's a pretty good size comparison there. So one big thing is the body size, not necessarily the length, but the size. The size here works very well. It's nice and skinny. It just matches the hook size overall pretty well, and so does this 5-aught. This trench hog you could probably put on a smaller one, like a 3. Like I said, you don't have to follow this precise. You don't even have to follow their recommendations precise. It's what you feel comfortable with, but it's really about maintaining that consistent bait to hook ratio with their sizes. And for most of these offset hooks, I'm Texas friggin' with these like creature baits and this trench hog. Well, not like with this Senko worm, but most of the offset hooks on Texas friggin' or even Carolina rigging. These offset hooks give for that good setup and that good motion for these baits. So a lot of people wonder about the color. You can find them in this silver gray, you can find them in red, and you can find them in like a bronze. I tend to stick with the silver or gray. The red, some people live by the red. They say red is the best way to go. Fish can't see it. I don't believe that at all. Fish can definitely see red. I don't know if it's just the hook that they can't see. I don't know, but I've used them. They work. I think all hooks pretty much work the same, but the gray, silver tend to bring in the most for me personally. The bronze ones, I don't really use too much. I know a lot of people do. It just really depends on who you are, what you're doing, what you're fishing, and your personal preference. The Berkley Fusion hooks packs that we bought here, they come in about 6 to 7 quantity of hooks, and they're about $4. Not too bad of a price. You can get like the Eagle Claw pack of 6 or whatever it is for like under $2. I've never had a hook fail. It doesn't matter how expensive it is. I don't tend to buy that expensive of hooks. I just bought these. They're probably the most expensive hooks I've ever bought per package, just for this video, because it kind of showed everything. And if you guys can see that, hopefully, what it says on those packages and kind of those recommendations for you. But I've never had a hook break, fail, bend, be destroyed. And I've fished a lot. So I really have bought the cheapest of hooks, and they always tend to hold up pretty well. So if this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. Please, if you have anything you want to know, anything you want to share, let us know either on our channel in the comments or on our Twitter, which you can find that link in the description. Let us know. We want to hear from you guys. We love interacting with our community, and we love to share information. And if you guys have a question, whatever. So thank you for watching. See you next time.